New Zealand obviously have secured their spot, but Gold Coast will be fighting tooth and nail to stay in that top 4.
Yeah, the Gold Coast are the only team in the league that can actually catch New Zealand, because the Gold Coast have 4 games left, and 2 of those games are against New Zealand, so they'd have to win all of their games. And, of course, in those 4 games, they got to beat New Zealand twice. So it's mathematically possible, but the odds are stacked against them.
Yeah, tough run home. Tough run home. It's good to see all of these teams that are fighting off for this last 4 spots all have pretty tough runs home. They've all got some really good quality games. And I think the teams would want that coming into the finals. You want to be playing against the better teams just to see where you are at that stage of the season.
Wilkinson misses a good look at the three-point line. Warren sidesteps and gets the layup over Daryl Corletto.
Nice little step around move there. I thought Daryl Corletto had him covered, but a nice little sidestep around and finish by Chris Warren.
Jackson coming off the high ball screen. There's a foul on Stephen Way.
Stephen Way taking it upon himself to create a bit of physical presence tonight. That's a couple of guys now he's got in front of and made good contact with, which is good to see from Adelaide's perspective.
Jackson gets it to Abercrombie. He's got all day to line that one up. It was long.
Stevie Way slipped over on a wet spot there, but I'm really liking the way New Zealand are executing their offense. They're running a low screen and they're cutting off that low screen extremely well and getting the ball quite often under the ring with a reasonable opportunity to score, and hence why they had such a good percentage in the first half inside the paint.
You see Corletto just riding him with that arm bar a little too heavily. Bartlett finds Warren just outside the three-point line. He's short. Diamond Simpson keeps it alive, but it goes to Abercrombie, who quickly passes it on to Jackson. Jackson explores, but he doesn't like what he sees and slows it down. Nico Bacona on the block.
You can see from good point guard, recognising it might not have been the right time to have gone hard early in the offense, pulls it out, runs their offense through, and they get a good shot in the paint.
Johnson backing down Wilkinson. Jackson. Just quick and strong. Man, that is explosive.
Very much so. He's one of those players that can take the bump. He got a little bit of a physical bump there from Stevie Way, but was able to just take it, keep exploding towards the bucket and just drive past for, in the end, an easy finish.
Way losing the handle. And New Zealand get Adelaide to burp it up on a turnover. Abercrombie loses the handle, goes out of bounds. And I think you can tell the look of a confident team when they make turnovers. He just mishandles that. Just goes about his business. Nobody slumps their shoulders. Nobody looks at him. Just next possession.
Until he had lost the ball, it was a really nice inside-outside dribble.
Way. Simpson. Shot clock to 3. Let it get down a little late in the shot clock. Really nothing going on that possession. Bacona. Good footwork. Steps around Daniel Johnson.
That's where Mika's probably picked up his game a lot. He was never early on in his career thought of as much of a offensive presence, really. But as we see a real nice drive there from Chris Warren and finishing with his offhand nicely off the glass against much taller opposition. But Nico Bacona has become not a bad post player. He's able to finish off and score down there quite well.
Abercrombie at the three-point line is automatic when he's got his feet set. And he has really developed that area of his game. Johnson down low, spins baseline, loses the handle. Mika Vakona's got it. To Wilkinson. Well-timed pass by Mika Vakona. The Breakers run in the lane. New Zealand Breakers on a 5-0 run. Adelaide 36ers decide to call a timeout. Marty Clark has seen enough. We'll be back at the Adelaide Arena right after this.
There's more to life under a Stratco Outback.
What are Century 21 agents made of? They're made of 1 part friendly handshake, 3 parts tough jackaroo, and 98 parts burning the candle at both ends until they find a perfect home for you. And if you're wondering how someone could be 102 parts, the answer is simple. They're that good. Century 21 agents. Smarter, bolder, faster.
Well, this guy's spirits are still high, right behind the Adelaide bench. Not quite sure what's going on there, but he's trying to get the crowd going. Brett, have you got an explanation for me? You live here.
I was looking up in amazement at what he is trying to do. It is good to see some of the fans really enjoying themselves here tonight and getting into the spirit of things.
I was looking at New Zealand's bench. Of course, C.J. Bruton comes off the bench for the New Zealand Breakers. I was looking at one of his stats. As I mentioned earlier, C.J. has more career wins than any active player in the competition with 287. But Tony Ronaldson has retired, of course, but he had 430 wins over his career.
Well, I don't think there was too many times that Tony missed out on making it through to the semi-finals. I don't think if he did miss out. So that means his team was constantly up the top of the ladder, winning games, obviously, to get him to that. But that is an enormous amount of wins.
Yeah, to kind of put that in perspective, the guy in second place is Leroy Loggins, and it's almost 100 wins short of Tony Ronaldson. He's got 337. And there's Dancing Harry right there next to Diamond Simpson's mom.
She must think, what have they done to me, putting me next to him.
Right at the end, he grabs his beard, too. Warren gets it just before the 5 seconds expires on the baseline inbounds. Johnson spins, gets all the way to the rim, gets a little soft roll as Daniel Johnson continues on his scoring ways.
Nice finish there by Daniel Johnson. This is where Adelaide really need to start looking after the ball. Just before that, they've had a couple of turnovers, giving New Zealand some extra opportunities, and that's where they probably let themselves down in some close games earlier on in the year. They get themselves in a good position and then start turning the ball over. They've got to start getting the ball, run their offense, get it to the right people.
These officials are busy tonight, aren't they? They are communicating a lot with the players. CJ into Pledger. 2 bigs banging down on the block. Pledger, boy, he traveled.
Yeah, there's one extra step there. As Adelaide have done a good job in the end to draw a 24-second violation.
Pledger picked it up on one side of the key and walked to the other side.
See Darren Ing injected into the game. We'll see if Adelaide can run a couple of offenses for him.
Warren loses the handle. There's not many guys quicker than him in the league. Getting from one end of the floor to the other. Jackson with a nice dish to Pledger.
Real good vision there from Jackson as he's driving in to see Pledger cutting through the bucket, and a nice little handoff.
Jackson, I'm sure he's kind of limping a little bit. He might have a word over there to find out what he's got to do for a foul when he gets in the paint. I think sometimes players the caliber of Cedric Jackson can make things look too easy, so the referees are trying to call the advantage. Often he doesn't look disadvantaged, so there are a lot of calls that just go uncalled.
Because he has that ability to take the hit. Like a lot of players would get held up and make it look a little bit more obvious. He's able to plough through it and keep going. So if he's to get those calls, he probably has to try and over-exaggerate and make it look a bit more obvious.
I was talking to Daryl McDonald when he first came over here. He said he had to, actually had been over here a couple of years. He said he had to learn how to do that, especially when the team was in the bonus.
Real good hustle at the other end from Cedric Jackson, knocking the ball loose.
Helliwell with a good screen out. That's a long pass by Nathan Herbert. Too much time in the weight room. Sorry, that was way.
Once again, Adelaide just need to settle down here. Every opportunity they're getting there. Just way too many turnovers at this stage.
Jackson, he's already missed a three, turned that one down. Jackson will get to the foul line. Did a good job of getting into the body of Wade Helliwell.
Nice shake here as he gets past Stephen White. I don't think that foul was really necessary.
No, that was going to be a tough shot.
It was going to be a tough shot. He's obviously got the height advantage. If he'd come over and just put a bit of his presence there, I think it might have been enough to have made the shot miss.
Adelaide have only been to the line, as you check out the stats on the bottom of the screen, just went off. 4 free throws. They've been to the line 4 times. Well, I mean, New Zealand's only been to the line 8 times.
Yeah, and that tells you, I guess, one of two things. One is that the defense isn't fouling too much when you're getting in there, or it's not getting called. They're letting it flow, they're letting it play, and they're letting the bumps go a little bit, is what we're talking about with Cedric Jackson. Or the other reason is you're not attacking the basket hard enough to be able to draw some of those fouls.
Mitch Creek. Mitch Creek, coast to coast. Boy, that is something he can do every night.
Well, that's it. He's got the speed and athleticism. Real good finish again on that one to have drawn the foul and still get it up and get that bucket and drop.
You all right?
Mitch Creek. This young kid is put together as well. Looks like a door.
Well, that's it. When you're talking about optimum bodies for basketball, that kind of 6'6", athletic, no fat, just it's what you're asked for, isn't it? That's what I asked for. I pulled up about 4 inches too short, but
I mean, not just basketball, 6'6", and built like that. I'd take that right now. Yeah, I'm not playing.
I can see why we're getting a lot of basketballs in those sort of dimensions now, also transferring over to the AFL football, and why they're being sourced as well from the AFL clubs, because it gives you such an advantage, and to see the athleticism of some of these guys transferred across.
There's a foul trouble on the bottom of the screen. Yeah, no kidding. Under 16s, a national championship. For basketball, you see a lot of AFL guys trying to poach our good talent. Of course, the professionalism of the AFL, they know exactly what body type they're looking for. And you tell me they wouldn't like a guy like Thomas Abercrombie or Mitch Creek.
What they are finding is that it is taking quite a number of years for the basketballers to transition into a different sport as far as reading the play and understanding the game. It is completely different, and some of the players do take quite a while to adjust.
C.J. Bruton knocking down both free throws. C.J., an 83% career shooter from the foul line. He's not going to... That's a long career to shoot over 80%.
That's anyone shooting up above 80%, you know, is not the person you want to foul at the end of a game, because generally they are going to be able to knock that shot down. They don't miss too many, and CJ's always shot the ball extremely well from right early on in his career.
Darren Ing, he was off balance and then realized he was wide open. Regained it, and then he's not going to miss with his feet set.
Real good screen there from Wade Halliwell. It's good to see some big fellas willing to set a good screen over and knock Daryl Corletto over and get that extra time for Darren Ing to set up. As we see CJ lining it up from outside.
And Chris Warren's got to understand that CJ's not really going to blow by you nowadays, but as soon as you drop your hands, that's what's going to happen.
Especially after he's just hit a couple of free throws, being able to get a bit of rhythm.
Darren Ing with some space. Pledger got a piece of that. Wilkinson does it illegally. I'm sorry, CJ Bruton. A little push down there. He's out of position. Everard Bartlett comes in for Chris Warren.
Darren Ings probably rushed a couple of shots. I know when he's coming into the game, he needs to be aggressive. They've got to run offenses for him, but some of those opportunities probably haven't been there.
Ball goes off the foot. Crowd on a foot violation. Well, they don't miss a trick here. CJ on the curl cut gives it to Wilkinson. He takes the hit and gets the finish.
Tough finish. He had two big guys coming at him in Daniel Johnson and Wade Halliwell, and just able to take that bump and nice soft finish off the glass.
Wilkinson still down. Taking his time to get up. I mean, no doubt he was fouled. We didn't see him twist anything or come down awkwardly. He just drilled to the floor.
Looked like he got him a little bit solid in the hip. That can sometimes be hard to get up from. Wade Halliwell also got cautioned after that play, threw the basketball into the back support right next to Gary Wilkinson's head.
Yeah, Wilkinson did flinch, though. I think you get 2 in the arm for that. And slowly but surely, New Zealand are starting to steamroll this one. The first time that happened in the first half, Adelaide was able to reel him back in, get it back down to 1. Bartlett turned the corner. Simpson. Halliwell had a good seal. Krieg to Halliwell. 3 seconds.
Probably should have shot it on that one. Mitch Krieg, he was able to get on the way to the bucket. Probably the better move there would have been to have shot the ball.
CJ. Got some space again. Into Pledger. He runs out of room. Mitch Krieg gets a piece of it.
Surprised CJ didn't shoot that one. He just knocked down a couple. He got plenty of space there to shoot it. Normally he is the sort of guy that recognises when he's hot and is able to take that shot.
CJ. Little burst of energy there.
He did, didn't he?
And even when he was at his peak, he had the ability to kind of lull you to sleep. Nathan Herbert backing down the smaller CJ Bruton. Krieg going right. He runs over Thomas Abercrombie.
2 athletes going head-to-head there. Thomas Abercrombie having the good, quick lateral foot movement to be able to stay in front, draw that charge.
That was impressive. I mean, Mitch Krieg ripped it through and had a full head of steam. And he just slid his feet. Get to watch the matchup on this end. Abercrombie pulls up going right. Comes up short. In last night's game, Sydney's Ben Magin was hitting pull-ups all night, going each way.
That's probably the difference at this stage in the career when you look at those 2 athletes is nice pass there. And it's great for Brian Simpson for the dunk, but that pull-up game, the outside range that Thomas Abercrombie has, he's got that nice jump shot. Mitch still has to develop that or develop the confidence in himself to be able to shoot that.
Wilkinson lines up to 3. He thought that one was good. He had the swagger going. Pledger keeping it above his head. He felt like he was fouled. He took the bump and still kissed it off the backboard soft. Simpson's fouled and he gets the roll.
Nice finish again there. Good alert play from Adelaide to see that Dom Simpson was running the lane. He was ahead of the other guys and throwing in the ball and been able to finish.
Andre Lamanis going crazy there. I'm not sure who he was upset with. They get a warning for their bench. I'm not quite sure what it was.
I think Andre Lamanis has been stepping onto the court.
Oh, right.
So he's been coming out onto the court, probably half a metre onto the court, which can be dangerous at times, but I don't mind the coaches showing a bit of animation and getting up and showing they're involved in the game.
For sure. Jackson, little pick and pop with Gary Wilkinson, and he drills it. And he has a little bit of a look for the crowd.